You're listening to The Lyndia Grant Show. Think on these things with Lyndia Grant.
Thank you for tuning in to The Lyndia Grant Show. It is Friday, August 21st, my sister's birthday. Today, celebrating 71 years. So happy birthday, Frankie Grant. And now we're going to go to our show for this week here on Spirit 1340 WYCB Radio 1. Dr. Julia Malvo has been with us now a good 10 years or more. I'm so happy to have her every week. And our second guest will be Dr. Chet Bennett, CEO of Bennett Career Institute. He's got a lot of exciting things coming up, and we'll be talking on the second half of the show. But we had elections this week in 3 states, and so let's talk now to Dr. Julianne Malvo, she's going to give us about 10 or 12 minutes about what's going on in politics and the economy. Dr. Julianne Malvo.
Grand Rising, Lyndia, and happy birthday to your sister.
Thank you.
This is a season. I think she just missed Virgo. My birthday is coming up September 22nd. So all gifts will be accepted. Just kidding. But anyway, you're right. We had an election. The place to watch was Florida. There was a lot going on in Florida. Florida Republican Party has nominated a Black man, Brian Donalds, as a gubernatorial selection. He was not endorsed by Governor Ron DeSantis, which is interesting, although he was endorsed by the president. He says all the time he and the president are good friends, et cetera, et cetera. What he's never said, quite frankly, is what his candidacy does for Black America. But you know, he does not own Black America. He doesn't believe in DEI. So we've got this young man, and he's a young brother. He's frequently appears on CNN, and he's very well spoken. But that doesn't mean that his positions are, are anything worth writing home about. In any case, people are going to be watching that. Florida was also a test for Mr. Trump in terms of a number of other elections where his selected candidates did not win. One of them that is quite interesting, and one might even say exciting, is an African-American woman who beat, and that's on the Democratic side though, beat Mr. Vindman, the man who you'll remember testified against the president in his impeachment hearings and talked about Ukraine. Well, he had a lot of money. He had 10 times, Lyndia, 10 times more money than this sister had, but she still won.
Yes,
She's affiliated with the Democratic Socialists, and she doesn't have a great chance of winning. But what she did show is what's going on with Democrats, just like the Republicans. Both parties are in shambles, if you ask me. Neither of them has any leadership, and neither of them is moving in the expected direction. The Democratic Socialist Party is not a party, it's an organization. Let me correct myself. But the Democratic Socialists have fractured the Democratic Party. And I think the reason a lot of people don't like the word socialist, I used to be a member of DSA. I don't think they're necessarily socialists, but what they are is they want some of the same things that everybody else wants: cheaper housing, more employment. And so when the word socialist is attached there are problems. But in any case, this young lady, and I'm searching for her name, I have 3 pages of notes in front of me, but the note I want is not in front of me. I'm going to find it, but she deserves a shout out. She really, she showed out. And she was well known anyway. She had been put out of the state legislature. She was a state legislator, and she went and sat on the floor of the legislature in reaction to some DeSantis mess. She's a courageous, she's courageous. So like I said, she deserves to get her name shouted out.
Angie Nixon.
I will do that.
Angie Nixon.
So, yeah, she's terrific, well-spoken, attractive, relatively young, and dedicated, and a street fighter. And I think that what people want more than anything, especially on the Democratic side, is people want people who will fight. They don't care if you call them a Democratic, socialist, or progressive. They want people who are going to lower grocery prices, who are going to make it easier for them to live. And that's what this woman has promised. And so, you know what? She promised it, and she's going to have the opportunity at least to the primary. Now, doesn't look good for her in the final because Florida has turned more red than ever, but she's still in there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the other thing that happened in Florida, of course, they Republicans have a strategy for Democrats. It's called pack it or crack it. So pack it is when you put all the Democrats in one district when they could be in more districts, they could be spread out. Crack it is when you take a heavy concentration of Democrats and you crack it. So that, as in Memphis, Tennessee, you have what was once a majority Black district now being distributed into 3 different districts. Mm-hmm. And so in Florida, what they did was they cracked it. So a reliable Black district that was once held by well, my brain is fried this morning. Well, it was a long-term Black district, has now been cracked. And so Debbie Washer Schultz, Democratic Party leader, they eliminated her district. And so what she did is ran in this Black district. Mm-hmm. And she won.
Yes, she
the
did.
primary.
Mm-hmm.
She won, and I would say I don't think it bodes well for her in terms of how she deals with the Congressional Black Caucus and others. But she won fair and square. Nothing to be said about that. And she now the interesting thing about her race, there were 4 Black people in the race. None of them was especially distinguished. There was a young brother who had been a mayor, 29, I think, very good. But he didn't have a constituency. Do you know who else was in that race?
Who?
Start laughing.
No.
Luther Campbell. Luther Campbell. Remember yes. Mr. Me So Horny? Mm-hmm. That was his Me So Horny. Well, Mr. Me So Horny was running for Congress also. Okay. He didn't get, but he got less than 5% of the vote, as one might have expected, but there he was. Mm-hmm. And so this does not bode well. This means we have 1 fewer Congressional Black Caucus seat now, and we're going to see that around the country. We're going to see fewer and fewer, and people are already projecting that we might lose as many as 10 members of the Congressional Black Caucus. Mm-hmm. I expect this year, when the Congressional Black Caucus has their annual meeting in September, I expect that there'll be lots of tributes to people who are stepping down or stepping out, or basically have a significant opposition. Mm-hmm. Other things that happened, of course, we had in Alaska, Mary Patola won, and that's good. We've seen a couple of other races, but basically we've also seen younger people just saying they're not in it. They're not in it. And so people are basically staying home. So we have a midterm.
While we were off a couple of weeks, a Black guy in Wisconsin won governor.
Oh, yes. Yes, David Crowley. Mm-hmm. And he beat the DSA candidate, Democratic Social candidate, who they thought there was momentum under her, but he was a lieutenant governor and he had a lot of momentum as well. Mm-hmm. So, with these elections, it raised and everything has changed. But anyway, we've seen some elections. I think we have a couple more coming up before the midterms, and there we have it. It was last night I stayed up a bit. It was exciting to see some of the things that were going on. Exciting to see some of the shifting tides. That's what's happening in the Republican Party as well. What's happening with Republicans are people are more openly rejecting the president. Mm-hmm. Now, it's not overwhelming. He still has his party, but a lot of people.
Dr. J, you were from California. There was something that happened in California too. Did that come through yet?
There was a congressional race that, and I don't have the names in front of me there, but it's going to be Democratic.
Okay.
California has ranked. So, and I don't think the 2 candidates were that much apart. So that's why I didn't really lift it up.
Okay.
The race of the seat that I was trying to talk about earlier was Alcee Hastings' seat. Mm-hmm. Alcee Hastings won that seat in 1992, and it's been held by a Black person ever since. But now, Wasserman Schultz has it.
Yes.
It's caused a fair amount of contention. Former Congresswoman Frederica Wilson said that she had a seat that was paid by generations of Black blood. Yes, she did. Yvette Clarke, head of the Congressional Black Caucus, said the caucus would not endorse Wasserman Schultz, and she was not being encouraged to run. But some people, I watch TV we always do. We're on the news, on top of the news. And there were several older Black people who said, well, she knew the district, they've known her, they've seen her, and they were going to vote for her. Mm-hmm. So she got 50% of the vote. She got the majority of the vote in the Democratic primary. So we shall see what else happens. But a lot of Black folks are angry about it. And a lot of others, especially older folks, are like, our question should be, how come Black people couldn't get it together? You got 4 Black candidates. How come they couldn't settle on one so that they could have overcome her? Mm-hmm. But this is often a challenge with Black elections or elections with Black people. We don't come together. And when we don't come together, this is what we get. Meanwhile, Lyndia, this week, as we're going into Black to school,
and we're in our last minute.
Okay, let's talk quickly about Head Start. This administration has proposed some significant cutbacks in Head Start. It basically serves 3 and 4 year olds. They're cutting the number of hours that young people have. It could be as few as 350 hours over the course of a year. They're increasing the number of children that can be in a classroom. So the ratio used to be 1 teacher for 3 year olds, 1 teacher for every 3 year olds. And I think it's 2. Yeah, and a few more for every 3 and 4 year old. Well, they've changed that. So and I know, because we've dealt with little kids, although that's not our specialty. My specialty is college students. Mm-hmm. But we know that if you have 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 3-year-olds, it's very hard to keep order.
Yes.
But that's what they're saying, well, we have fewer teachers, and so the children are going to get less attention. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be more seats, and who's going to pay for that? And so Head Start is the one federal program. There have been study after study, one of the most effective federal programs that exists, and they're cutting it. And their excuse is, well, we're trying to streamline. But what they're doing is taking the burden and taking it to the children, taking the burden away. So as people go back to school, there are going to be fewer opportunities for our young people. Mm-hmm. So there is a marching order here. There is until late August, there's a comment period where people can comment about this Head Start program. I would hope that people who are listening, Google Head Start, Google public comment, and comment on this. Mm-hmm. And if you've had anything to do with early childhood education, retired teachers, comment on this. Comment on the fact that this new regulation essentially discriminates not only against all children, but especially Black and poor children. It also cuts down the amount of food that kids are going to get and other support services.
All right. Well,
that's it for me today.
Thank you, Dr. Julian. We will talk to you again next week. We'll go to our commercial break.
If it wasn't for my care coach at AmeriHealth, I probably wouldn't be so healthy right now. As a man, we don't get checkups or see a doctor regularly anyways. It's probably just a man thing because none of my partners go either. We know we should, but we just don't, and hope it works out.
So what changed for you?
AmeriHealth assigned me a care coach, somebody that gives one-on-one help, answer questions, explain things, and help set my appointments. She also helped me understand what having high blood pressure really means and ways to manage it so it doesn't kill me. It ain't nothing to play with. If you're a member of AmeriHealth, ask for a care coach. I'm glad I got mine.
At AmeriHealth, if you need a care coach, you can have one. Just call us at 1-877-759-6224 to get connected. 1-877-759-6224. This program is funded in part by the government of the District of Columbia Department of Healthcare Finance. Mayor Muriel Bowser.
Washington and former religion columnist Lyndia Grant.
And that day came. I wonder if there are any of us who have any real idea about how despairing many are today. Do you have any concept at all of how hopeless life appears to be for many young people in our day? On every side, there are troubles, and they don't know where to turn. They find no sense of meaning to life. There are not merely passing fancies. They are conditions under which some live all the time without a ray of hope. Invite your friends to worship service. That'll help them. I feel strongly that we need to lift up our voices on these matters because God will be the light that will shine in those dark places.
Read more in the religion column of the Washington Informer, an award-winning African-American newspaper. We don't report crime or gossip, just positive news. Pick up the Washington Informer or visit us online at washingtoninformer.com. Call 202-561-4100 for more information.
This is Frank Smith with the African-American Civil War Museum in Washington, D.C., located at 1925 Vermont Avenue Northwest on the Green Line. Did you know that a recent study found that children who visit museums do better in school and in life than children who do not? So parents, teachers, and preachers, let's get moving. I promise you, if you bring your children to the African American Civil War Museum, they will be inspired by the images that they see. They will be impressed by our living history reenactors who are always available, and they will be involved in our scavenger hunt that takes them throughout our exhibit. That's the African American Civil War Museum, 1925 Vermont Avenue. Our hours are 10 to 6:30 on weekdays, 12 to 4 on Saturdays and Sundays. See it, be inspired.
And we are back. Thank you for tuning in to the Lyndia Grant Show. We've been off for a couple of weeks, had some reruns, and took our little summer vacation, 2 weeks, and I'm just feeling really great. And so happy to have with me today as my second guest, Dr. C. Allen Bennett. You all, first time we've been on the radio calling him Dr. C. Allen Bennett, also known as Dr. Chet Bennett. He just was honored this summer. He can tell you about it. And he's also celebrating the 30th anniversary of Bennett Career Institute. And he also, the company had a big setup over at RFK Fields. So, Dr. Bennett, let's just go get right to it, and then we're going to talk about your last history maker over at Howard University. Talk to us today, Dr. C. Allen Bennett.
Well, good day, Sister Lyndia Grant. I am just so excited to be a part of your radio show and your amazing listeners. And I tell you, it is a wonderful day just to be in the land of the living. So we're excited to be here today. And yes, you are the first. This is the first interview that I've done on the radio where I am now Dr. Chet Bennett, and I am just elated. I was awarded the honorary doctorate degree from the National Beauty Cultures League, one of the oldest Black beauty professional organization in America. 1908, I believe, is when they started that organization, and we're just really excited.
Congratulations again. Yes.
Absolutely. And I'm just honored and privileged. You know, next month will be 34 years I've been in the industry. And when they said to me, they said they never done this type of degree before. They do the bachelor's, the master's, and the doctorates, but they've never done an honorary doctorate. And they felt that because of my 34 years in the industry, that I was the first one that they gave that to. And I'm just honored and thankful.
Amen. Such a privilege. Talk to us about what you just finished this past weekend. I saw it on Facebook.
Well, I tell you, one of the things that's important, and that is teaching our students how to give back, teaching them the principle of sowing and reaping, and how community is one of the keys to success. I'm standing here today with almost 30 years in a couple of weeks, and next weekend it'll be 30-year anniversary. I'm standing here today based on what I've done in the community over the last 3 decades. So we trained the students about giving back. We were at the mayor's citywide back-to-school event. There was over 1,000 people there. We came out with our staging. We came out with our backdrops. We came out with all of our styling chairs, our tables, our microphones, our speakers. our backdrops, and we did what we know how to do best.
And can I just jump in and tell them this wasn't other people out there, other beauties and barbers. This was Bennett Career Institute exclusive. Am I right?
That is correct. We were the only ones there that was doing free haircuts and braiding.
That's what I want the people to know. Yes.
Absolutely. So we had not only students, but we had licensed stylists and licensed barbers out there, as well as instructors, to make sure that we gave back in a large way. I did the number count on yesterday. We did close to 150 people.
Wow.
150 people. We were able to cut hair and do braids on 150 people, and we snuck in some adults as well.
And it was all free, given back to needy people. So it was wonderful.
Absolutely. We were in the fields of RFK Stadium, so we was in Ward 8, and 90% of those participants lived right in the neighborhood of Ward 8. So it was an amazing opportunity for us to give back and also put smiles on so many faces. I know you saw the lady on Facebook crying, sitting in her chair.
Yes,
because
I did.
It was her child's first time getting his hair done. And she was just so emotional about it. But we wanted to make sure that we took care of the people, because that's what it's about.
Well, Dr. Bennett, one more history maker before we run out of time. You getting ready to cut the ribbon over there at Howard University on the first historical beauty thing that you got coming up now. You got Beauty and Barber coming to Howard University. Talk to the listeners about that.
Absolutely. Well, I graduated from Howard with my master's degree in 1996 in education administration. Who would have thought, Lyndia, that 30 years later, I will be back on the campus with a full barbershop, a grooming lounge right in Drew Hall on the first floor, also with a manicurist there, along with a boutique hair salon in the quad dormitory with 612 female residents in that dorm. We have a hair salon and a barbershop that we're cutting the ribbon on next Monday, August the 24th at 2 p.m. We will be on the grounds of Howard University. And when I tell you it's a full circle moment for me to be able, listen to this, to be able to go there 30 years and park on the lot in front of the track. But guess what? Now, when you go to the track, there are 3 spaces that says C. Allen on
C. Allen Bennett. I love it.
And it's just, isn't that something? So you just have no clue. So I just wanted to give the listeners just the encouragement to say, you never know what God has in store for you. That's why it's best that you follow his commandments, because you never know what's next. I would have never thought that I will be back there with businesses on campus and now getting ready to have a retail place in the bookstore. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
It is. And I already talked to Denise Rolock Barnes from the Washington Informer. I'm hoping the Post and everybody in the world will be there, but I can assure you the Washington Informer, where I've been writing for 20 years, is coming. They plan to be there too. So it's going to be a big news
we're just
day.
Really excited. And it's sponsored by, the ribbon cutting is sponsored by Curl's daughter. Okay. So the representative from Lisa Price will be there on Monday. They're giving out 50 gift bags to the first 50 folks that's coming to the ribbon cutting, and they're supplying us with plenty of back bar products for the students at Howard University. So we're just grateful, we're honored, and we're privileged to be able to be on the campus serving those students at the HBCU, my alma mater, Howard University.
Amen. Now, we only have about 4 or 5 more minutes. Talk about what you want to do the rest of the year celebrating your 30th anniversary, because you've been so busy. So I heard from your executive assistant, you can just keep celebrating the rest of the year.
Absolutely. So on August the 29th will be our 30th anniversary, and we're going to continue all throughout the year. It starts with next Saturday. We're asking everyone to come out We from 1 to 7, we're doing everything from firing up the grill to we have a moon bounce for the kids. We have a popcorn machine. We have all kind of freebies. We have some 30-year merchandise. We're asking all of our students, graduates, clients. You know, we serve as a huge population of senior citizens. We're asking all of them to come out next Saturday so we can honor them for allowing us to be in business for 30 years because we're only one agent. It's the senior citizens and the clientele and the student body has kept us alive for 30 years, and we're grateful. So we're doing a lot of give back on August the 29th, and we want to see all the listeners to come out, enjoy and partake, and let's celebrate together. A Black-owned, accredited business for 30 years in the nation's capital, in the heart of Kaplan University. It's amazing.
And the last question, Dr. Bennett, I saw on there, I think this month you're celebrating having your kidney transplant also. Tell us just a little bit of how that's been so successful.
Well, it's been 7 years. April the 9th is when I hit the transplant. It's been 7 years now. And I try to tell people all the time, even though I have the transplant, I'm not on dialysis, but I still get weak. You know, I still have I still have kidney disease, but the important thing is that I haven't had any complications, no confusion, no anything. It has been
Dr. Bennett,
sailing.
it amazes me how much you work, and I think about how you had a kidney transplant, because I remember when Mayor Barry had his, and I was close to the lady that donated the kidney, and I just realized how things were. But for you, it just seems to be different. And I think it's part of your kidney cafe and you being Chef Bennett. All of that matters, I think.
Yeah. So my closing comment would be, it's all about how you take care of yourself and also a good team. I have Dr. Gwendolyn Taylor, my executive assistant, and a slew of folk that surrounded me to allow me to continue to push the vision forward, and they're on the grounds running. And I think that's important. We're only as good as our team. And I just want to thank you, Lyndia Grant, because you have been a huge supporter of our organization, and we really, really, truly appreciate you. I remember last year, I had an interview with you for our summer camp. Our summer camp sold out because of Lyndia Grant on last year. And I just want to thank you and your listeners for always being in our corner. We truly appreciate you.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Bennett. I'm so proud of you. Congratulations to you and every member of your team, from staff to students to volunteers. May God continue to bless you.
Thank you so much.
All right. That concludes the Lyndia Grant Show for this week. Good day.
Thank you for listening to the Lyndia Grant Show. Think on these things with your host, Lyndia Grant.